What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can change your own reality. And man, this is so important because just understanding this, how you look at things differently, your perspective can literally change your life. And I feel like everybody is so, hate to say it, but we were raised in this cookie cutter way when life is not cookie cutter at all. I always talk about our coaching program, how, we don't believe in cookie cutter programs. That's like one size fits all, not personalized. We believe in something that's transforming to someone's lifestyle, something that's unique for them because everybody's different. At the end of the day, I'll say it the same with life as well. So many people think like, oh man, we go through school and then we go into, let's say, getting married and then we get our jobs and then we're kind of, have our families and then we're kind of stuck there. Right. So hopefully this episode really helps you guys kind of break free of this, let's say this chain that you're locked onto, right? This little cubicle that's stuck in the corner. Because I trust me, have helped change many lives by simply talking about this inside of our coaching program at Heartletics. And I want to share with you guys the same tips and tricks on how to change your life as well. Before we get started, if you guys are brand new, right, to either the podcast or, my YouTube channel, please do me a favor and just if you get any value at all, like and share this, maybe on your social media page. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, do me a huge favor, give it a like, right? And then also make sure you press that subscribe button and then turn the little bell notification. That way you'll always be, notified whenever I pump a new video out. And I'm literally posting anywhere from, 5 to 7 times a week, So with that being said, let's dive right in, all right? Let's just give you guys some actionable steps, right? I feel like that's what's going to help you out the most on today's episode is some steps that you need to take. So I will say this, right? If you happen to, jot these down, right, pen and paper, that will be definitely useful for today's episode. First step right here. And this is like literally what I try to fight people on, honestly, on our discovery call. So in case you guys don't know what a discovery call is, it's when somebody's applying for coaching, right? They feel like maybe they saw my Facebook ad, maybe they heard the podcast, a few videos. They go through these steps of applying for coaching, which is one, scheduling a discovery call with me. And then they go through more steps, right? To see if they're actually coachable, see if they can actually follow through directions well, which is like filling out their transformation application form, which is nice because when they fill out this form going over all their details about like their body type, their goals, their lifestyle, their occupation, family, eating habits, everything like that to help them, I then send them over a personal Loom video, literally doing a deep dive into their form, sharing with them how to have success, right? And then obviously going over the homework videos that they need to watch also, because at the end of the day, hey, let's face the facts here. Here's some videos to watch that explains everything about our coaching program, the investment, everything that goes into it, right? The meal plans, the other coaches, everything, right? So it's mandatory for them to watch it. And then obviously if they have the opportunity to talk to Coach Jimmy, he's the bus driver that got started with just putting out $500 and his whole life changed from that investment, where he's down over 120 pounds. And he's also inspiring and helping motivate guys and coach them just like myself, which is awesome. And so if they have the opportunity to talk to them, even better. So that way, when they talk to me, they follow through with all these steps. That way, if there's anything like they're skeptical, they're unsure, they don't feel like, maybe they can get the results like all the other guys, trust me, that bad wolf has been tamed. Because on that discovery call where we're going over everything with them to see if it's a good fit, and then obviously registering them and getting started with their prep weeks, there's a lot of bad wolf mentality there. Meaning, right, there's some self-limiting beliefs. And on that discovery call, it's my job, right? I always say it like this. Whether they can afford a coaching or not, right, they can invest, awesome. I only want to sign up people that I know I can change and transform their lives. There's plenty of people that can afford, putting down $500 to get started on their health and fitness journey with us. But if it's like, hey, man, like, this is too big of a risk, or I just don't feel comfortable and confident I can help you reach your results, like, I'll tell them that clearly. I would tell them that because, like, what's the point? Then it's just going to be more headaches for me and my team down the road. Unhappy, client because they didn't get the results. Think about it, right? So my job as a coach on that discovery call is one, to finding clarity, right? If I can help them. And I always tell somebody that, like, dude, my job is to find clarity on this call. And then it's also to make sure that these self-limiting beliefs that this individual might have, we are defeating them. It's the bad wolf. And if you, I'll say it like this, if you have been struggling, right, with, let's say, not having the best decision making skills, like you find it very easy for yourself to choose unhealthier food options compared to healthier food options. You find it very easy for yourself to make up excuses as to why you can't get started and why you can't have that success, and like whatever the case may be, right? And you've been doing that for years. It's very hard for me as a coach, right, on that discovery call to defeat that bad wolf. But here's the thing, I love that battle. I love that fight because here's what you need to know when it comes to changing your reality. Step number one, right? You need to break yourself of any self limiting beliefs. Okay. So on that discovery call that me and a prospect will say like that, right? We're having a simple conversation. I want to go over what they've tried before in the past, how they had success, how they didn't have success, current state right now with like their family, their eating habits, going out to eat, body type and goals, training schedule, everything, right? Because I want to ensure this guy that or girl, right, by the end of the call, right, if there's any self-limiting beliefs about why they can't be successful, it needs to be defeated, right? Because at the end of the call, and somebody says, I don't know, give me 2 days to think about it. Let's face the facts here, right? They're going to go on with their life. They're busy. Everybody's busy, right? Something's going to happen, right? And they're going to get distracted. They're not going to be, more inclined and like, okay, hey, I'm ready now. Like it just typically doesn't work, right? That's why we always tell somebody like, don't ever give us a no or like, or excuse me, don't ever tell us a maybe. Give us a no, right? Like it's either a yes or a no. Like the maybes, give me a few days to think about it. Let me talk to my wife. It's just a no, right? Like let's just be adults here and move on, okay? So what you need to understand to have success and to changing your reality is this. You need to break yourself of just all the self-limiting beliefs that you might have about yourself. And so I encourage you, right? It's going to be difficult. It's going to be uncomfortable, but take down a pen and paper and just write down like where you are today, where are you trying to get to, and why can you not get there? That's it. That's what I go over with these calls, and I share that information with that individual. Like, okay, so you said you tried keto, you said you tried fasting, you said you tried Weight Watchers, you've always lost the weight, you regained the weight right back, okay, and you're trying to get off your blood pressure meds. You're trying to have more energy. You're trying to lose 30 pounds and maybe see some visible abs because you want to, look good with your shirt off. You want to have more confidence. Awesome, understandable. But you told me here that you can't do that because of you lacking motivation and you don't have anybody holding you accountable. And lastly, you don't have the knowledge of knowing how to train and how to eat properly for your body type and goals. So you can see in there, right? It's that reality factor, right? Okay, hey, here's the reality. Here's the words that you said, where you are, where you're trying to get to, what's stopping us from getting there. Do that with yourself. Like if you want to learn and figure out more about you, ask yourself some questions, right? I always talk about having a journal, right? I'm constantly writing out questions that I want to ask myself and find the answers to. So ask yourself this, right? What is stopping you from getting to where you're trying to get to in life? What is stopping you from, you achieving your goals? And then think about it in the past, right? Like, what are the self-limiting beliefs? Do you feel like you can't be successful because you're a failure because you tried everything else? Right? I hear from that guys all the time. Well, Joe, how can you promise me success? I've tried so many things, the ketos, the paleos, the carnivores, the fasting, the Weight Watchers, the South Beach Ice, the P90X, Insanity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How can you guarantee me results? Well, I'll put it to you like this. All those other things, right? They're cookie cutter programs. You never probably dealt with somebody that's actually talking to you firsthand personally like me right now over this discovery call, nor has somebody actually helped you and actually worked within your lifestyle because we don't have a program. We have templates, but at the end of the day, like our call right now is to go over creating this game plan for that template. That way it's all personalized for you. And then guess what? Right? It's not going to be like, here's your meal plan, here's your workouts, peace out, Girl Scout. It's like helping you every step of the way to ensure that when you're not progressing, we're there to make results, right? Changes. To ensure that week over week, we're monitoring your progress to help you, right? And teach you on when to do all this and how to do things effectively, teaching you how to fish, not just giving you a fish, right? So that's like what we do. Now ask yourself this, right? What's stopping you? And then ask yourself, why do you have that belief? Is it because you tried everything under the sun? Or maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe way back in the day you got picked on and made fun of for being overweight. Maybe you grew up in an Italian household with a finish everything on your plate mentality and you have horrible relationship with food and whatever the case may be. But you got to be real with yourself. Nobody else is going to be real for you. You need to be real with yourself, you know? So that's the first step, is finding out what are these self-limiting beliefs about yourself. Because once you can obviously identify that and start working on, defeating those self-limiting beliefs, like that's where you're going to start receiving the goals, right, that you're trying to get to. And you've been trying to get to for what? Years now? So maybe take a backtrack, right? What's stopping you? What's preventing you? The second thing, right, is to make a promise to yourself. Like, honestly, you need to do this. Like, you got to start taking control of your life, man. You got to take a commitment, man. You got to take a stand. Like, this is your life. I know so many people that are so flaky. Joe, I want to lose weight so bad. I'll do anything. And then we get to the end of the call. We talk about the investment. Give me a few days. I need to think about it. Yeah, I'm not ready right now. But, sir, you said you'll do anything. Right? Here's the number one thing that pisses me off about men these days. Men are not men these days. See, myself, right? I can't even consider and call myself a man because, one, I'm still developing who I am. I still have this ego that takes control over me, right? This ego that says, man, I know everything under the sun. I can do this. I don't need anybody's help. Guess what? That bad wolf, that ego that I have, it's a daily battle. Right? So that's why I'm not even going to consider myself, right, and say, oh, I'm speaking down upon you. I'm not, right? Because I know for a fact I have this ego that I'm still working so hard to control and to tame. So that way, guess what? I can only feed the inner beast, only feed the good wolf. Some of you guys out there really need to take note into what I just said. Because most of you guys have this ego that I can do it all. I'm Mr. Fix It. I can fix a sink. I can fix a whatever, washing machine. I can fix a lawnmower. I can fix my body too. Let me just tell you this, right? I'm just trying to save you guys time and error, right? If it hasn't worked for you in the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's probably not going to work for you, right? In the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, which means that your life is only going to get a lot harder. It's only going to get a lot worse. Unless you decide to put your ego aside and say, okay, I don't know what to do, but I'm willing and open-minded to making some changes. What can I do instead? And then from there, right, you have a plethora of different resources. You have courses, you have programs, you have one-on-one coaching, whatever the case may be, where you can find somebody, right? At least I always say this, when it comes to invest into a coach or a mentor, if that's something that you're trying to do, look into 3 different things. 1, does that individual, talk the talk and walk the walk? I know a lot of people that are trainers and online coaches, and I'm not trying to bash them by any means, but they really don't look the best, right? They really aren't in the best shape, but yet they preach about it so much. It's kind of like a hypocrite, an oxymoron, right? The second thing is this. Make sure that coach or that mentor, make sure also that just because they can get themselves in great shape, make sure that they can also do that to other people as well. Not just themselves, but they have success stories. And then the last thing is this. If you can make things even a lot better for you and easier for you, make sure that those success stories or those transformations are guys just like you. If let's say you're 50% body fat right now, you're, a software engineer and you got 3 kids, I would not recommend going to find an online fitness coach or a trainer that coaches, let's say, bodybuilders, or let's say coaches women's physique competitors. Like find somebody that stays in your lane, because at the end of the day, like that's what's going to guarantee sustainable habits, sustainable results, is finding something that's pretty similar to your current state right now. Okay. So that's it, right? That's like one of the biggest things I can tell you when it comes to, achieving results, when it comes to changing your reality, is making sure that, you're finding somebody to something to help you out. right? You're breaking those self-limiting beliefs. And that way you're just making that commitment, right? You're not flaky, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And what's the last part, right? So the first one is obviously breaking those self-limiting beliefs. The second part is making a promise to yourself, a commitment to yourself to making a change. And once again, not being 1 foot in, not being 1 foot out. What's the third and final part? And this is probably the most important thing that I have to say, right, is simply to this. Trust the process. Don't rush the process. Literally, like if you have full faith, right, and that's what you need, faith. You need to have faith that it's all going to work out in your favor. You need to have faith that even though you maybe cannot see the results in your own head right now, it's going to happen. If there's any doubt, right, just like I always said in part 2, if you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you're never going to receive the results you're looking for. You have to dive in head first to your goals. You have to have faith that it's all going to work out in the end. And that's why we always tell everybody, just, make sure that you trust the process. You are open-minded because that's how you're going to make that change. What's the point of doing something if you know you're going to fail? What's the point of doing something if you know that you're not going to get the results you're looking for? You got to have some faith. You got to have some trust. You got to have some certainty that at the end of the day, it's going to work out in your favor. You're going to see the results. Like, it's the inevitable. And when you have that confidence that it's going to happen, it will, right? And that's exactly how we coach our guys through Heartletics. And we always say it like this: we're trying to change who they are mentally, right? Let's create better habits for them, to make sure that they receive the results that they're looking for physically. But when we change who they are mentally, that's when they really start to see the success that they're after. A great success story, right, that I want to share with you guys as some inspiration is Dan, right? I'm going to leave his last name anonymous, right? But Dan signed up for my coaching program, and I remember our discovery call, right? Like, it was just like, we went through the whole entire process, and I want to say maybe around 25, 30 minutes into it, he just had this like, man, Joe, I don't know what it is, but like, I've just never had success before in my past. I feel enlightened. I feel inspired and motivated to make a change now. And here's the thing. He didn't know how it was going to work. He didn't know how, like, what kind of results he was going to get after. He still had questions, but he just knew. He's like, man, if I could sign up with Heartletics, I just know for a fact it's not going to be like everything else I tried before in the past. The ketos, the fasting, the Atkins, the Slim Fast shakes, the Weight Watchers. It's going to be something that's going to be different. And that's exactly what it was for Dan. In his 12-week transformation program, yeah, he lost 30 pounds, but the guy made such a traumatic change mentally because he never had anybody in his corner supporting him. He never had anybody in his corner helping him. And like, when you put those pieces into place, like, that's where that transformation comes. Because guess what? As we're encouraging Dan to do better and helping him, showing him the ropes, it's giving him that little spark of inspiration. It's opening up that light within inside of him, within his own mind, where guess what? He started to see that Dan 2.0. He started to see, man, it's actually working. I don't really know what I'm doing in the very beginning of the prep weeks, but I'm just going to do what these guys tell me to do. And that's exactly what Dan did. He listened to his coaches. And that's why he lost 30 pounds in 12 weeks. But not only that, he has a whole different mindset. The guy went from starting off with literally like not playing any sports, growing up as a kid, anything like that. He got started with just 3 workouts a week, just body weight exercises. Now the man's working out 4 times a week, and he also invested into a kettlebell because he wants to start building some more, muscle and start obviously focusing on his core a little bit more. And a kettlebell is a great tool. So how did he make that change? Well, one, it was scary for him, but there was a little bit of certainty. He knew he was dealing with something else. And when he figured that out, that he was going to have accountability, he was going to have support, and just people that are generally helping him, that is what's going to make the difference. And it did for his life. And it can for your life as also. So as we wrap up things on today's podcast episode, I want to share with you guys this, which is really cool. And I'm looking at it right now. And it's this photo, right, that I can see. So if you're watching me on YouTube, just know I'm looking at the screen. And it's this photo that I saw on Facebook. I was just scrolling through and I saw it. And hands down, this title of this podcast is, about changing your reality. They have a phrase out there, a quote that says, if you change the way that you look at things, the way that you look at things start to actually change. And I think there's 100% truth to that. So this picture that I'm looking at, it's of like three, let's just say negative words out there. The first word is fail, the second word is end, and the last word is no. Okay, so like obviously not the best positive words, right? But take a look at like the meanings behind it and how when you just make that little switch with just your own mind, right? Like you can put a positive switch to anything out there that's negative. And let's face the facts here. You got to learn how to be your own best friend. I already mentioned the fact about like, becoming a better man, right? Putting the ego to the side. And sometimes it means working on developing who you are, not just physically, but mentally. And hopefully this video and podcast was able to help you out with some tips and tricks. So take a look at this, right? 3 different words. We'll talk about them, right? Fail. And it says that if you fail, never give up, because fail means first attempt in learning. And I love that. Absolutely love that. The second thing is end is not the end. In fact, end means effort never dies. And lastly, if you ever get a no as an answer, remember no means next opportunity. And it's all about changing your mindset. And there's 100% truth to that. So guys, as we wrap up things today, just understand this, that this is your world, right? Plain and simple. And whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever it is that you want to become, whatever, right? Focus on having the proper mindset. Break those self-limiting beliefs, fully commit to yourself, and have trust and faith that it's all going to work out in the end. And I promise you, you're going to start seeing better results hands down. Now, if you guys want more tips and tricks on how to successfully do that with some help, just like how Dan signed up for coaching, lost 30 pounds in 12 weeks, became a brand new man, well, guess what? You guys can obviously go visit Heartletics.com, take a look at some of the free information that we have on there, or just simply apply for a free discovery call to see if coaching is a good fit for you. With that being said, please, right, if you got any value at all from today's episode, share this one on your Facebook page or maybe your Instagram stories. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you never miss a notification whenever I post a new video, which could be anywhere from 5 to 7 times per week. With that being said, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scout.